Hello. Welcome to the Eric Zane Show podcast. Daily Show. Trying to discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures. That's difficult to explain to people. At the wedding the other night, Sunday. What's your podcast about? I go, it's always, I don't know why. I just always feel sheepish. I said, well, I describe it as I talk about news, nonsense, and my personal adventures. And they always like, that sounds like shit. I don't know. Maybe I need to change that up or something. It's gotten me this far, I guess. You know, maybe I could be further. So thank you so much for being here. From the Baldwin Ace Hardware Fear Bunker Studio, yet again. Yesterday culminated with yet another trip to a physician for the NFK. Man, I had the hardest time getting this through his head as to why this was. I think that there's a stigma about your skin. I have a dear friend named Adam Deggy, who I'm going to be with on Friday, who his life was turned upside down because of skin cancer. And so he's constantly reminding people, get your skin checked, people. Get your skin checked. You know, moles and shit like that. And so the NFK, most recent general doctor visited, he's like, hey, yeah, Kevin, you got to get your skin checked. We go, yeah, sure. So set up the skin appointment. And then when it finally showed up on the calendar, hey, you got a guy. I had actually made the appointment with a guy. And I see it and I go, what the fuck is this? I had no memory of it. So I actually called the physician. I go, yes. And I asked, I go, are we scheduled for it? Yes, you are scheduled. What does this doctor specialize in? And they go, skin. Oh, okay. And I barely remembered it. So we rescheduled it, and that happened yesterday. Was the actual day. So I made the mistake, as I told you about, of neglecting to warn him about this ahead of time because it takes time for him to wrap his mind around it. And he was none too happy when I told him we had a afternoon appointment with this doc. And he's like, oh, boy. And I'm like, oh, shit, this is going to be rough. We finally head out down the road. We get in there, and this place is it's the smallest waiting room, and it's just packed with patients. Everybody's got cancer. Just loaded down with cancer growth on these people, on their skin. That's not true at all. Okay, so we get into the room, and we're getting some information about him. And I had said to him on the way there, again, I made it very, very clear. I go, this all happens because your general doc said, look, we want people to start getting their skin checked more. So you just go in, he has a look, and then you're good to go. Now, as I look at this on the live stream, sweet Sarah, that's the guy. This old Nazi is the same. Your doc that you go to is the guy that I was with. And so, yeah, this dude, he's about 101 or 102. I believe a former SS Nazi physician who conducted experiments on people. Thick accent. And I'm like, okay, yeah, we're going to see a raid here. Finally, someone's going to catch up with this guy, and you're going to see him in shackles on court TV at The Hague being accused of war crimes. Before that guy comes in, though, the nurse is asking questions. And I think we've got some growth here because typically, even though I tell the guy why we are coming in, and I do that so that when they ask him, why are we seeing you today, he can answer. So I don't have to. And every time he puts his hands out and, I don't know. But this time, he did it. Like, oh my God, breakthrough. Fuck yes. I don't have, because then I have to like clean up the mess and like, well, actually, yeah, there is a reason. It's because the general doctor suggested we come see him, get his skin checked in a preventative way, whatever. That's all he has to say. And he did it. This time, he did it. I was so proud of him. And then she's doing the old getting background. Now, I talked to you about the last doc we met, the liver doc. They're asking him questions about his health. And he gets all pissed off because they're asking him questions about his health. So I was worried about that, too. And this is a young assistant, you know. And she starts asking questions. And I'm like, oh, God, she's about to get screamed at right now. Here we go. Nope. He is learning to behave in public. He got half the information wrong, but I had to jump in. She goes, do you have any chronic conditions? And he's had epilepsy his whole life. Nope. I go, he's epileptic. And she asked, do you have any liver problems? Nope. I'm going, no, you do. You have early stage cirrhosis. So, do you drink? Nope. And I'm like, well, he just quit. He used to drink like a fish. And he's looking at me like I'm an asshole. I'm like, hey, dude, look, don't fucking get lippy with me. I am simply providing. I'm not doing it to tattle on you, fuckface. I'm doing it because they're asking. You can't fucking tell them the wrong answer. And then he's got this big-ass fucking fleshy growth on his head that just sprung up. And point that out, and I go, okay. Now, typically, when docs come in, they give you, they say, okay, hello, I'm Dr. Nazi, and with me is, and you know, they explain who's there because he's got like a physician's assistant who's being trained, and then another guy who's shadowing for some reason. We don't know who the fuck they are. No one tells us this. I get this information after, so yeah, whatever. And this old school doc, this guy has seen it all and done it all. Not only, I cannot get behind the joke that he's actually a Nazi. He's not, but that's what I pictured. Because the dude he's super old. Okay? Super, super old. And he comes in and he just takes one look and he's, okay, take your shirt off. Takes a look at his back. He goes, everything's benign. He just takes one look at it. He goes, all harmless. All the little marks on his back, you know, that everybody gets. Those are all harmless. Okay, what's next? This on my head. He goes, yeah, I'm going to burn that off. And then Kevin goes, what about this one? He goes, yeah, we're going to get that off too. So they like push a button on the wall, and this thing starts to get hot. That's going to like burn the shit off. And then the room is going to be filled with the smell of burning flesh. And Nazi Doc is like, oh, yeah, that takes me back to my glory days. You know, and so they take like, they numb it up, give him a little shot here, a little shot here. And then, psst, done. That's it. The whole thing took like 30 seconds. Clippy on the other one. Stop the bleeding. Done. He goes, yeah, I want to see you in a year. That's it. Perfect. Quick and painless. Him and I look like lovers. We both walk in wearing sweatshirts. That's all I wear is hoodies and sweats and Crocs. And him, same thing. He's got sweats, Green Bay Packers sweatshirt, Crocs. And then me, same thing. We are husband and wife, and that is my husband. This is what everybody thinks, that I am married to a special needs old man. Not one person in that waiting room thought that I was his brother-in-law. That's okay. Success. We got out of there quickly. And the deal is, when these moments start, he's so pissed off that he has to do this. But by the time we get out of there, he's just so thankful. Absolutely thankful. It all went off great. Okay, that ends. Diana comes home, and she says, we have to go to a visitation. I'm like, who died? I actually knew this, but she had to remind me. Dear friends that used to live across the street in our old neighborhood, mom or dad died, and Dad was awesome. Actually helped Diana and I out a few times with some repairs years ago on the old house, and he passed. It was a bummer. The couple, they were very young when we met them. They had purchased their first house right across the street from us in the old neighborhood. I'll never forget. I pull up in the driveway, and first thing I see is two little kids. But they're not little. They're like tall. And I thought, oh, okay, a couple of 5-year-olds, a couple of 5 or 6-year-olds. And then I see Dad and Mom get out, and they look, something was wrong. Something was amiss. I couldn't quite place it. Shortly thereafter, I walk across the street with Diana, and we introduce ourselves. Now, I'm barely 5'8", and Diana's 4'11". Dad is 6'8", and Mom is 6'3", 6'4". The kids are approaching Diana's height, at least as far as I remember. It might have been a little shorter than that. The kids are 18 months. And I'm like, what is going on here? That's when I started to be introduced to Dutch people, because where I grew up in Michigan, there are no Dutch people. We didn't allow those people into Detroit. The only people that are allowed in Detroit are Polacks and Italians and Arabs. No Dutch. So I'd never interacted with a Dutch person in my life. And I see these the tallest people in the world are Dutch. I don't know why. They're just tall. Tall and lean and blonde. And so I'm like, oh, hey. He goes, hey, Pete. I go, hey, Pete. And there's Andrea. Awesome. Great. Love them. Tallest family ever. They have 4 beautiful children. By the time they were 2, they were taller than Diana and I. This was the guy who went. Do you remember there was a time when I was on the radio? There was a story where, and I got so much shit for it. I hurt myself somehow. I was simply closing a drawer with my foot, and suddenly there was this intense pain, and I still to this day don't know what happened, but I couldn't walk. The dude, Pete, whom I called Pumpkin, I think I called him that because Peter Pumpkin Eater, so I started calling him Pumpkin. Pumpkin comes in, and he has to carry me like a baby out of the home. Oh, my God. So I said, I see Pumpkin yesterday. I go, hey, Pumpkin. And he goes, hey. And then, you know how you're at a visitation. Hey, you remember that time when, and I brought that up. And he goes, yeah, I'm still trying to forget. Holy shit. Okay. So we walk into the funeral home for the visitation, and it's like land of the lost, giant people. Everybody's Dutch except us, and so they're all looking down at us. Walk in, and these 2 boys that were when they were 18 months are now taller than their parents. I think the one is like 8'4", and the other one's like 8'2". And I'm like, oh my God. What the hell happened? Incredible. Super soldiers. That's what they are. Super soldier. One's actually going to the National Guard. He's a super soldier. Strength of 10 men. Never seen anything like it. They have 2 daughters. They're both giants. Super athletes. Super brains. The Dutch are God. They have to be considered for God's chosen people. I know everybody's been saying like, oh, yeah, the Jews are God's chosen people. The Arabs are like, oh, fuck you, it's us. It's the Dutch. It's got to be. They're bigger than everybody else. If they wanted to take over the world, they could. I walked up to Andrea, gave her a hug. I was face to face with her knees. Diana, same thing, ankles. Pete, I'm like, hey, Pete! Yeah, oh, hey, how are you? Holy shit. After a while, we left. I ran into the lady who bought our home, our old home, across the street from them. Her name is Stacy. She's just, I love her so much. And I'll never forget it because when I sold her that house, she, I forgot what happened. Something was, she didn't like, I told her I wouldn't mess around with the price. I said, because she was renting it from me. I said, when you're ever ready to buy it, just let me know. And I'll sell it to you. I'll just give you a fair price, and that's the end of it. Now we're very close, but when I sold it to her, I threw a price at her, and she goes, "I thought you said you were going to be very fair." And I was like, "Oh, fuck!" I folded. Oh, did I say that? No, I meant to say this price. That's why you don't sell to friends. You know, you don't want to hurt the relationship. So I always cave. I always do. I caved. Gave it to her for a bargain basement price. The home is worth twice now what it was. Pretty much damn near what it was. Because when I sold it to her, the market was in the dumper. I see her. I go, I want to buy that house back. Do you do this? I've talked about this before. I want all of the homes that I've lived in. I just do. It's all nostalgia. Oh, my God. I want to go back. I want to own my old cars. I want to own my old homes. I mean, not the actual cars. Like, buy ones that are just like them. This is fucked up. Why? And for some reason, I just like the idea of it. I want to own the home that when I was born in Detroit, lived there for 2 years. I want that home. I don't even remember that home. I have no idea anything about that home. The home that I grew up in Warren, City of Warren, I want that home for sure. First home ever bought in Midland. Oh, fuck yes, I want that one. The one in Tennessee, well, there was two. I rented one. I don't want that one. The other one I bought, I do want that one. The story about the home in Tennessee. By the way, I need questions for Dear Meathead. Eric at ericzaneshow.com. Subject line, Dear Meathead. Please send them along. Got a few, but I need more. Always need more. The Tennessee home, these two dudes bought it off of Diana and I. And they said, yeah, we're brothers. And they introduced themselves as brothers. But they weren't. They were lovers. And the story goes that, so they weren't brothers, but they were like a couple. They're gay. And the story goes, because they revealed this to us. The first person that they, when they decided that they were going to come out of the closet, They were introduced to another couple, and they said, yeah, this is so-and-so. We're lovers. Which, first of all, who the fuck introduces themselves as lovers? But the person that they were introduced to then introduced them as brothers. Misheard and introduced these two, Bill and somebody, I forgot the other guy's name, I think he's dead, introduced them as brothers, and they looked at each other like, no, we're not brothers, we're lovers. They must have misheard us. So then they went with that. They kept referring to themselves as brothers. They took it as it's a sign from God. We should not reveal to the world that we're lovers. We should reveal to the world that we're brothers. And the thing is, they both looked the same. So it was because they both weighed about 500 pounds. So they look like the two dudes on mini bikes in the Guinness Book of World Records. So it was conceivable, plausible that they were brothers. They just were both fat. But no, they were lovers. Now, can you imagine if you get introduced to a couple of dudes who both weigh about 5 bills and they are introduced to you and they say, yeah, we're lovers. You're going to puke in your mouth. Fuck me. All right. We need about $2,000 right now for the Great Food Giveaway. We got about 2 or 3 more donations yesterday. Thank you to the latest, Aaron. Thank you for that, Aaron S. You're so kind. Thank you for the donation. And then I talked with you about a rainbow flag Jeremy coming through. Kelly D. dropped $50 on us. Thank you, Kelly D. I have not yet, and I did this by mistake, posted this on Facebook. But I think we're doing okay, considering the fact that of the 5,570 we needed, we now only need about 2,000. So we're pretty close to 3,500 raised. Awesome. I am going to take this to Facebook and make a post about it. So I will get after that. The Venmo PayPal thing is no different than like a GoFundMe, okay? Except GoFundMe's not getting any of the money. You are, yes, I know it sounds strange. It is going directly to me, and then I'm keeping a full accounting of it, and then, of course, showing you exactly how much money we have raised and talking about it, and then making the purchase. Here's the receipt with the money that it cost for 200 meals on the Great Food Giveaway. And then, boom, that's how we're doing it. So if you do want to help out, and I seriously, I've been getting these great donations of 50, 60, 40, 30, 150, 200. If we just small amounts, if everyone does small amounts, I mean, you can give as much as you want because anything left over goes to kids' food basket. We appreciate that. But if you just do $5 or $10, perfect. That's great. Strength in our numbers. Venmo at Eric, ERIC -ZEITUNIAN. I know, that's weird. PayPal at Eric Zane Show. If you do PayPal, please do it as a gift. And then there's no fees taken out of it. Good. Stevie says, make sure you use your M perks on that purchase. You're damn right. So we're off and running. 200 hams, 200, actually probably like 400 cans of vegetables for the meal, 200 bags of potatoes, 200 jars of gravy, 200 packages of King's Hawaiian rolls, 200 pies. That's a Christmas meal. All boxed up by the side of the road at Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV, 3 p.m. on December 22nd. That's a Thursday. People pull up, we put the food in there, and yes, off we go. Thank you so much for all your help. We love you. And then Kyle says, are we going to Bosco's afterwards? Well, yeah, I don't see why not. That sounds like a great idea. That is the plan. All right. And we need volunteers, too. Thank you, as always, for all the support. If you're just listening to the audio podcast, in the show notes, I have all that information if you do want to help out. Once again, Dear Meathead, Eric at ericzaneshow.com on the Shoreliner Striping inbox if you have questions. I'm thinking I might have to smash the Zenith here. Things are starting to sound weird. Hang on. Check, test. Hello. All right. If you're enjoying the show on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, I'm going to cut you loose. Join me on Twitch. I just log in, download the Twitch app, TWITCH. Download that app. Very simple. Create a little username so you can interact on the chat. And then off you go. Follow the show and subscribe to it so there's no commercial interruptions. You can subscribe with your Amazon Prime account, and it's free. Otherwise, it's $5.99, or don't do it at all. Totally up to you. And then you get the show free, but there's an ad here and there that plays during the show. All right. So I'm going to cut you loose. Thank you on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube for following. And as always, the audio podcast is available for download on all of the podcasting platforms. You guys are the best. Just search Eric Zane Show and subscribe. If you ever want to email me, drop me a note on the Shoreliner Striping inbox, Eric at ericzaneshow.com.